Hi, Mister.
Good morning.
This week is well. I went out with my family to eat and bought the clothes, exercise every day. Yeah,
Very
it's
good. Busy week. Busy week. Excellent. Thank you. Tommy, how about you?
Hi, Mister.
Good morning.
During this week, I have gone to Guayaquil to visit my grandparents. I did some exercise. I met with my friends to watch the Champions League match.
Good. That's exciting. If your team won, that's exciting. David, how about you?
In my case, yesterday we had a lunch, Christmas for in work,
Mhm.
and the activities in this week, I see it like tough because there's no to charge, because of the Christmas is coming.
Yes. Yes, Christmas is definitely coming. You can feel it everywhere. People are walking more, buying presents. Crazy. Shopping centers are absolutely crazy. Jessica, how about you? Jessica?
Hi, I'm fine. Um, tired.
Yeah. But what did you do? What was one exciting thing that happened to you? Maybe you went out to meet your friends, you had lunch, maybe you went to the cinema. What was exciting thing that you would like to share?
My week was just work, and then yesterday I only went to a meeting with some friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's exciting. Antonella, how about you?
Well, this week I just had class, but yesterday I went to the movies with my friends.
Here you go. That's very exciting. What movie did you see?
We saw the new Hunger Games movie.
How was it?
It was great.
No spoiler alerts here. Was it
No,
good?
no spoiler, but it was great.
Okay, good. And Jose Bruno.
Well, my schedule for today first begin the class English class, and after that maybe I will go to La Cuadra with my friends about Christmas dinner.
Christmas dinner. Okay, very nice. Okay, so a lot of exciting plans that you did or you still have for this week. So very happy that you share them and very happy that you have an exciting time before Christmas. Very good. Now, I would like you to go to your Moodle, please. Log into your Moodle, and then we're going to continue with the Unit 2B. So go to the Unit 2B, scroll down until you see these pictures where it says speaking. Look at the circles. Can you see it here? Zoom in a bit. Okay. Can everyone see this? Unit 2B, activity speaking, 4A. Look at these circles here. These 9 circles here. Each circle has a picture and it has a hint. Okay, so for example, a friend you know very well. Now, what I would like you to do, I would like you to write down 3 questions about each circle. So for example, A friend you know very well. What kind of questions we can ask about a friend we know very well? Antonella.
A question about a friend you know very well.
Mhm.
I don't know. What is the name of her sister?
Yes. What is the name of you? Let's focus on about the friend. So the question should be about a friend you know very well. So how long do you know that friend? Where did you meet that friend? Yes, Daniel.
Mister, I have a question. Do you have to make three sentences for each circle
Yes.
or three in total?
Three about each circle.
Okay.
Okay. So again, so the example here could be, when did you meet your friend? How old is your friend? And what is her or his name? Okay. Next, a social networking site you use regularly. So again, what could be the questions? What is the social networking site that you use regularly? How often do you use it? Do you use it in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening? Do you just chat or you post pictures on that website? Okay, here you go. These are the example questions. Next, let's look at the car, the motorbike, bike you have. Okay, so do you have a car, a motorbike, or a bike? Which is the easiest transport to move around Guayaquil? Which one is the safest transport to move around Guayaquil? Okay, and let's look at this one, something you are learning to do. Okay, so what are you learning to do right now? Are you learning to play some music instrument? Are you learning a new language? Okay, so here, I already gave you quite a few examples. You can think of your own, but remember, so what you have here in each circle, you have some sort of a hint or what the question should be about. Okay, a place where you live. Again, so 3 questions about the place where you live. And then we're gonna go into the smaller groups and we're gonna ask each other those questions. Okay, so write them down on a piece of paper. 3 questions for each circle here. And you can make the questions as exciting as you like, but they must be about that specific topic. Okay, so 5 minutes. Just write down. If you can write more than 3, perfect. Write down more questions, but at least 3 for each of the categories. Okay, 2 more minutes. Make sure you have at least one question for each category if you're struggling to make more. Okay, then at least write 1 or 2, or then if you have the chance, write 3 for each category. It's very easy. Do we know what a gadget means? In this circle here, a gadget you have, which is very important for you. Do you know what it means, guys? Gadget, Leslie? Do you know what this word means? A gadget. No? Lizzie?
Excuse me, teacher.
Do you know what a gadget means? A gadget you have, which is very important for you. Do you know what a gadget means?
I don't know.
A gadget is like some sort of electronic device. Okay? So it could be a computer, it could be your phone, it could be your tablet, iPad, and so on. So these are all have a generic name, a gadget. Normally, these are electronic devices that you use for something. Okay? So electronic device like a phone, like iPad, tablet, computer, and so on. These could be classified as a gadget. Okay? Electronic device. Okay, time's up. So I hope you have some questions to ask. Now we're gonna go into a smaller breakout rooms, and I would like you to ask these questions to your partner. Okay, so you ask a question about select one specific category, and then ask your partner those questions. Your partner answers, and then your partner asks you the questions that they have written down. Okay, so we're gonna go into the groups of 3 students. So try to go ask each other a question. For example, Tommy asks a question to David. David asks a question to Otilia. Otilia asks a question to Tommy. Just as an example, if you were in the same group. Okay, so go in a circle like that. Everyone asks the question, and then once you finish answering one category, change to another category and ask a question. Okay. So let's go into the breakout rooms. Okay, you can go to the breakout rooms now. Ask each other those questions and then switch to another category. Do you have your groups, guys? Jose Bruno, Maoli, do you have your groups? Okay, who wants to start with their questions?
Okay, I will start. The first picture says a friend you know very well. My first question is, how old is your friend? Someone. My first question is, how old is your friend? I don't know if my internet is working well.
It is
You
working
can
very
hear me?
well. It is working very well. So let's do the following.
yeah, okay.
Valeska, you ask a question to Lizzie. Lizzie answer the question and then ask the question that you have, not the same, but ask the question that you have to Enrique. Enrique answers the question and then Enrique asks the question, his question to Valeska.
Okay.
Once you go in a circle, then you change to another category. Okay? So at least one question per category. Okay, let's go. So let's ask a question. Lizzie, how old is your friend?
The friend that I know very well is called Ashley Valencia. She's very sociable, happy, and above all, makes me loud because she's usually very clumsy like me. And I see her from Monday to Friday at the university.
Okay, that's very good. But did you answer the question?
Valeska, o Valdez.
What was Valeska's question?
What is a social network that
No. You need to listen to Valeska's question and then answer only that question. Don't just talk anything about your friend. It's good that you're sharing, but you need to listen to a specific question. So Valeska's question was, how old is your friend? So you just answer that. You don't go into explanation about how good is your friend. Okay? Focus only on the question. How old is your friend? My friend is 25 years old. Okay? And then you ask a question to Enrique. Yeah, only answer the question that you are asked to. Okay, continue.
Ay.
Okay, what's happening here? Are you sharing, guys? Look, let's do like this. So, Kate, you ask a question to Andrea. Andrea replies to your question, and then Andrea asks her question to Giancarlo. Giancarlo answers the question, and Giancarlo then asks Kate his question, and then you move on to the new category.
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
The first category is a social networking site you use regularly. And do you think Instagram is useful, Andrea?
Yes, I regularly use WhatsApp and Instagram.
Now, did you answer the question, Andrea?
Okay, Giancarlo?
No. Wait. Kate asks you a very specific question. Do you think using is, what was the question? Useful.
If Instagram is useful.
Yes, if Instagram is useful. She did not ask if you're using it. She asked you, do you think it's useful? So your answer should be, yes, it is useful because, or no, it is not useful because it's waste of time. Answer specific question that you are asked. Okay, so focus only on that. Don't cover anything else. Whatever your partner asks you, you just answer that. Okay, so let's try again. Andrea, do you think Instagram is useful?
And yes, because it's social,
social networking.
Yes.
So how is it useful? How is it useful? Because you can interact with your friends. Yeah.
Okay.
You can interact with your friends. That's why it's useful. Or you can say, no, it is not useful because you can spend a lot of time scrolling. No, you don't find any information. You just scroll on TikToks, on Instagram, checking other people's pictures, and you're wasting a lot of your time. Okay, very good. Andrea, now ask a question to Giancarlo. Andrea, the same category, ask a question about Giancarlo. Any question you have about social media? Did you write down a question?
You can the car and motorbike or bike you have.
I have a car.
Okay, and then continue asking questions to Kate.
Okay. For the same topic or another topic?
You can ask the same topic and then you close the topic. So each one of you has the chance to ask the one question and answer one question from one specific topic, and then you change to another one.
For example, that a friend you know very well.
Yeah.
The topic. Yeah.
Yeah. You ask that, and then Kate changes to another topic.
Okay.
And then change. Okay. Good.
Okay. And Kate, what is the place where you meet for the first time with your friend?
The place.
Okay. We are finishing the questions, teacher.
All of the questions.
Yes.
Very quick. Okay. So yeah, continue. I want to listen for a bit.
Okay. I'm gonna start with, what is the name of the social platform you use regularly?
Who will answer that? Melissa or Alex? Melissa? Can you answer the question?
Please.
Did you hear the question, Melissa?
Repeat, please, Mister.
You did not listen. Okay. Can you put your camera a bit down so we can see your eyes and we can communicate a bit better? Okay. So, Antonella, could you repeat the question to Melissa, please?
What is the name of the social platform that you use regularly?
Melissa, what is the name of the social media platform you use regularly?
I regularly like to go out with friends, restaurant, eat seafood.
Now, listen, one second. Sorry to interrupt. Listen to what the question is asking you. Don't just answer anything. Okay. So the question was, what social media platform, so Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, or YouTube, which of these platforms you use on a regular basis? So meaning every day. So your answer should be only related to that, not anything else. Okay.
The platform for everyone is TikTok.
Okay, very good. That's your answer. So the platform you use on a daily basis, meaning every single day, is TikTok. Okay, good. Now, Melissa, you ask a question to Alex.
When you travel to any part of the city, you prefer to go by car or bicycle? Who prefer?
Yeah, so it's always better to, because look, I might not have a car or I might not have a bicycle, but there are other means to travel, correct? There is a bus, there is a taxi, there is a scooter maybe, or walking. So you can ask more generic questions. How do you prefer to travel in the city? By bus, Metrovia, Aerovia, scooter, car, walking? Yeah, ask more generic question.
The trans,
Yeah, transport.
the, for example, taxi, bicycle, car, aerovía.
Yeah, very good. How do you prefer to travel in the city, Alex?
I have a car and a bicycle.
Okay, here you go.
The car is more comfortable me don't transport.
The car is more comfortable. Very good. Now, Alex asks a question to Antonella, and then we go in another circle. Okay, continue, guys. Well done.
Yes.
Hi, so for the topic that a gadget you have, which is very important, I have my cell phone, and one of the questions I made was what was my most used app, and it was Instagram. How about you?
The social network that I use regularly are Instagram and YouTube.
I use a regular TikTok, the application TikTok.
The other question I had was, what do you usually do on that app? I usually use Instagram to look stories from my friends and followers.
Very good. Very good question. What do you usually do on those platforms? Because you can scroll down or up to see the things. You can upload yourself, or you can join some lives as Instagram has, like, and learn something, correct? Very good question, Atilia. Okay, continue.
And I also scroll down as the feature.
Why all the microphones are off? Did you ask the questions?
I can ask.
You can ask
another time.
Why?
So, Javier, where do you live?
Yes, Javier.
Facebook is the network that I use most often.
Javier, what was the question? Sorry to interrupt. What was the question? What was Tommy's question? What did he say? We need to listen to the question. His question was, where do you live? So he was talking about another topic. Yeah. So you need to answer that question, not about your social media. Where do you live? I live in a house. I live in a flat. I live in the farm or wherever. Yeah. So answer the question. Where do you live?
In the Amazon, in the city in Nueva Loja.
Okay, I live in a city called Nueva Loja. Very good. Now, Javier, you asked a question that you have written down to Harold. And Harold answers, and then Harold asks another question to Tommy. So continue. Get a question.
Okay. Harold, excuse me. Harold, how do you favorite food?
Favorite food is, I don't know, patita. Omi.
No yeah? We don't need that.
Does your family have a car?
Yes, I have one card.
Okay, good. Continue, Tommy. Next question to Javier, and then we go in a circle again. Yeah, continue. Hold on.
Yeah. What kind of gadget is the most important in your life?
Okay, guys, did you ask questions?
Yes, mister.
All of them.
I was preparing the last one because I didn't have those questions.
Okay, that's fine. Look, you can ask the questions now. So pick any category. For example, your favorite gadget. Okay, so you ask a question to Tahis. Tahis answers the question, and then Tahis asks a question to Melissa. Melissa answers the question, and Melissa asks a question to David. So we go in a circle like this. Okay, go ahead. Start.
I think networking type that. Hi, Mister.
Hello. Did you ask questions?
Yes. The place where you live.
You live, yeah? The place where you live. So let's do this. Renata asks a question to Walter. Walter answers, and then Walter asks a question to Jessica. Jessica answers, and Jessica asks a question to Renata. So we go in a circle like this. Okay? So let's ask the questions about a car, motorbike, or bike you have. Okay, so a transport. So Renata, what questions do you have about this topic?
The question, Jessica.
You asked Jessica, yes. Go ahead.
The car, motorbike, bike you have.
So the proper question, do you have a car, a motorbike, or a bike? Yeah? Jessica?
I prefer to use a car rather than a motorcycle.
Okay, very good. Why? Because it's more safe and more convenient.
Because it's more safer.
Very good. Now, Jessica, you ask a question to Walter, and then Walter answers the question. And then you continue. Okay, continue, guys.
Para ver si que mis respuestas, Abigail.
No Spanish, no Spanish, Michael.
Perdón. Sorry. Estaba con mi hijo. Sorry.
So ask each other questions. So any category, pick a question. So Michael, you ask a question to Abigail. Abigail, you answer. And Abigail asks another question. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, teacher. For example, example the question. And is a bar of the restaurant that you often go to.
Very good. So what is a bar or restaurant you often go to, Abigail?
The question and answer Abigail. The question is, how many times do you go to the restaurant?
Yeah, Okay, good.
It's rarely because in my house I prepare the eating.
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good. But when you go, what places do you go, Abigail?
I am going to food healthy. For example, going um, ¿cómo se llama? The restaurant healthy because I know prepare this food.
Okay, so you choose the healthy food options because you cannot prepare them healthy at home.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, Abigail, ask a question to Michael and then Michael answers.
Yeah, Michael, do you have social networks?
Yes. Regularmente use a social network.
From 1 to 10, how much do you use social networks?
I use number 6.
6.
6. Yes,
Okay.
6.
How many years have you been using social networks?
Use a social network is the today.
No, how many years? So,
Oh, yeah. 10 years. How many use the social network?
Okay.
yes.
Continue,
No more.
continue.
What social network do you use most frequently?
My favorite social is Instagram, Facebook, and tweet, now X.
Okay, now Christian, you ask a question to Jose. Jose answers the question, and then Jose asks a question to Ingeborg.
Jose, in which vehicle do you mobilize?
Say again, what's the question, sorry? What is the question, Christian? I do not understand, sorry.
What sport do you play, Jose?
Well, I like to practice on sports. Well, I like to practice swimming, running, and cycling.
Very good.
Okay, Ingeborg. Can you tell me if you have a car, motorbike, or maybe a bike?
I have a car and I get around in it.
A lot of silence in this room. What happened? Did you finish asking?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All of the questions. Very quick. Okay, so Giovanna, ask another question about the favorite gadget. You asked to Julissa, Julissa answers, and then Julissa asks a question to Jaime, Jaime asks a question to you. One more question about the gadget.
The question is, do you think the alarm clock is important for you? Julissa.
Julissa? Okay. Jaime.
The gadget most important for me is alarm, saying the alarm.
Is it important or no?
Yes, the most important. I use all day.
Okay. Now ask a question to Giovanna.
Other question.
Yes.
Social networking site do you use regularly?
Yes, I use social media every day.
You use social media every day. What do you use it for? And how do you use it?
How? In
Yes.
my phone.
Because social media, look, you can use to upload your own pictures. You can just scroll down and look at the pictures. You can learn something, okay? Because there is a lot of live shows and things like that. So you can learn something. So you can use it in that way. Or you can just use it as an inspiration. You can use it to check on your friends, chat, a lot of things how you can use the social media. So how do you use it?
I chat, I scroll down on TikTok and Instagram Reels. I see my friends' stories and what series. And when that's not social media.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well done, guys. Continue. Now we're going to go back to the main room, okay? In a minute.
Okay, teacher. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, everyone is back. So thank you. A lot of good ideas. A lot of good ideas, a lot of good questions. Now, what we did with this exercise and what we could see from this exercise that sometimes asking a question is more difficult than answering one, correct? So to ask a proper question that your partner can understand and can answer sometimes can be very, very difficult, okay? But a lot of you did very, very well. So asking proper questions to your partner. So no issues there. Now, I picked up in a couple of rooms that I went to that some students answer just not what they are asked. Okay, so that is something that we need to change. If someone asks you a specific question, you need to specifically answer to that question. Don't talk about everything in general, answer a specific question. So when someone says, what is your favorite social media platform? Yeah, you don't answer saying, social media is very important in my life because I use social media every single day and social media helps me to interact with my friends. This is not the answer. The question was very clear. What is your favorite social media platform? So you need to answer that. My favorite social media platform is Twitter. Why? Because I can use it to communicate with my friends, I can find some news, and so on and so on. So answer a specific question that your partner is asking you. Don't go into the big circles explaining everything. Okay? Very good. Excuse me. I'm still with the cough from last week, so I do apologize. Now, let's have a look at the next part of the class. So last week, what we covered two tenses, okay? So we spoke about the present perfect and we spoke about past simple, yeah? We were comparing them, seeing what are the similarities, what are the differences between the two. Can anyone remember what is the main use of each of these tenses? Anyone? When do we use present perfect simple? Antonella.
Present perfect is for actions that happen in the past but are continuing in the future or right now, or that you haven't done yet.
Present perfect simple.
Yes. Yes, I think.
Present perfect simple, remember we said that we use for the past experiences, past actions, and with the words yet or already when we're emphasizing something. So these are the main things that predominantly or mainly we're using to talk about the past experiences. Past experiences when we don't want to give a specific time. When did this happen? It happened sometime from the time when I was born all the way until now. Okay? So that's what the example. I have been to London, but I have not been to Oxford. What does that mean? That means that this is my past experience. I have experience of being or visiting London, but I never been to Oxford. I don't know when. I'm not saying when. I'm not saying if it happened, this experience happened last week, last year, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, and so on. I'm not saying that. I want to specifically focus on the past experience and not on the fact when did this happen. If I want to say when did the experience happen, and I want to highlight that, I want to say that I went to London last year, then we're going to use the past simple. Okay, so this is the main difference between these two tenses. We are using the present perfect simple when we are focusing on the past experience. We want to say that I did this, I lived there, or I ate that, or I had this experience. Then, but no specific date, no specific time. Then we use the present perfect simple. If we want to say that when exactly did this happen in the past, then we are better using past simple. Okay? So this is the main difference between the two. One is talking about the experience, and another one is talking about the past event that started and finished in the past. Now, let's look at the other two tenses, and again, how do we use them? This is the most important thing about each tense. How do we specifically use them? Because that is the message we're trying to pass to the person who we are talking to. So our selection or which tense we are going to be using, that defines or that tells our partner we are talking to what exactly are we trying to say. So it makes our language more accurate. Okay? Remember what we said, and we spoke about a couple of classes ago, that each use of tense shows our ability to use the language in a proper way. Of course, you can say, I go to university last week. Okay? Grammatically, the sentence is wrong, correct? Because you should not be using the present simple to say about what happened last week. But if you're talking to the person like an English speaker, of course, he or she might understand, but it doesn't mean that it's correct. So if you're trying to say specifically something, you are going to be choosing a different tense to express yourself in a proper way. And that is the main reason why we have so many different tenses in English language, is that we're trying to pass a specific message or specific information about what happened or what are we trying to say. So let's have a look at the two tenses, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Excuse me. So in particular, we're going to be looking at the use of present perfect with for or since. Okay? So who would like to read? Maria Jose, could you read the white box here, please, under the present perfect?
They've known each other for 10 years. Julia has had that back since she was at university. How long have you worked here? Since 1996.
Since 1996.
How long has your brother had his motorbike? For about a year.
Okay, very good. So now, I'm sorry. Looking at these examples, can anyone tell me how do we form a present perfect tense? How do we form a present perfect tense? Anyone?
We form the present perfect tense with have and then the verb, but in participle.
Yes.
And that's how we form it.
Yes. So have or has plus the past participle. Okay, that is how we form the present perfect. Again, it's necessary to know exactly how do we form each tense so that you are not confusing them. And you know that present perfect we form have or has, depending on the person we are talking about, plus the past participle. So worked, had, went, and so on. Okay, very good. So now, here we're going to look at a specific example of when do we use the present perfect with for or since. Okay, so Kati, could you please read the rules of when do we use the present perfect with for or since? Just under the white box, sorry. We use the present perfect.
We use the present perfect for or signs which know as action verbs. Like, have, come, etc. To talk about something which started in the past and is still true now. They come act over for 10 years. They mean 10 years ago and they still come act other day today.
So what the first rule is, when do we use the present perfect with for or since? When the action already started in the past, but it is true until now. So if my experience is still true until now, if my state, how I feel or how I am, is still true until now, then we can use the present perfect. And the example is, they have known each other for 10 years. Now, why is this still true? Because we still know that person, correct? I know Andrea for 10 years. What does that mean? That means 10 years ago, I got to know Andrea, and all the way until now, I still know her, correct? It's not that she was my friend for 10 years ago and now she's not. No, my experience is still up to now. Okay, so in these cases, if something happened in the past or started in the past, but it is still true today or now, then we can use the present perfect tense with for or since. Second rule. Continue. Who was reading? Sorry, I forgot.
Okay.
Andrea, you? Who did I ask to read? I forgot.
We use how long present perfect to ask about an unfinished period of time from the past until now.
Okay, so how long plus present perfect for the unfinished period of time from past until now. So again, when we are asking the questions in the present perfect, we know that we are not giving a specific time. We just give from one generic time in the past all the way until now. So when I say, I have visited London, or I have been to London, I'm not saying when. Maybe it was last week. Okay, so maybe that period was from last week to now. Maybe it was 2 months ago. Maybe it was 30 years ago. I'm not saying specifically from when to when. I'm just saying that from sometime in the past all the way until now. I have that experience. So the same thing here. When you are asking the question, you're asking about unfinished period of time from the past all the way until now. Next.
We use for a period of time, for 2 weeks or since a point of time, since.
Since 1990.
This 1990.
Yes, so since meaning starting from that point, we can say that. So again, this is more of an exception from the rule about the use of the present perfect, correct? Because when we said last week that we don't define the date, if we have a specific time, when did the action happen in the past, we are going to use the past simple. In this case, it's a bit of a different rule or an exception from the rule, if you like, but only when we use the present perfect with for or since. So meaning present perfect, has or had plus the past participle, and then we use in the same sentence, we use for or since. In those cases, we can still use it, present perfect, and not change to past simple. So in this case, we say we use for a period of time, for 2 weeks, or any specific point of time when we are using since. So since 1990s, okay? Again, not very specific, but since that date. And the last one?
Then use the present simple, which for signs not. They know each other for a long time.
Yes. So if you have for or since giving the indication of period of time or a specific point of time with since, we are not going to be using present simple. We are going to be using present perfect. So we don't say they know each other for a long time. No, they have known each other for a long time. Okay, we're going to use the present perfect here. Do not confuse with the present simple. Okay, because we have the action that started in the past, sometime 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 2 weeks ago, or whatever, but that action continues all the way until now. So in these cases, we are going to be using the present perfect. Now, let's have a look at the present perfect continuous. When do we use it and how do we form it? David, could you read the box, please?
Yes.
So first, sorry, before the box, read it. How do we form the present perfect continuous?
All right. Present perfect continuous. Have, has been, plus verb, plus ing.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So again, here you have the different template of how do we form the tense. Okay, as we said, each tense has a different template. So present perfect continuous we form with have or has been So, okay, so have been or has been plus the verb finishing with the ending ing. Okay, so now let's read the white box, please, David.
1. How long have you been learning English?
Mhm.
Nick has been working since April. 2. Your eyes are red. Have you been crying? No, I've been cutting onions.
Okay, very good. Have you been crying? No, I have been cutting. So here you can see have been or has been, one or the other, depending on the person. If it's a third person, we use has. If it's a first, we use have. Have been plus the verb finishing with ing. Learning, cutting, walking, running, and so on. Okay, so for any verb, you just add the ending ing. Now, let's have a look at the specific rules of when do we use the present perfect continuous. David, continue reading, please.
Okay. We use the present perfect continuous with for and since with action verbs. Example, learn, go, work, etc. To talk about actions which started in the past and are still true now. Don't use the present continuous which, for, since, not I'm working here for 2 years. We can also use the present perfect continuous for continuous or repeated actions which have been happening very recently. The actions have usually just finished.
Okay, very good. So we're going to look at the table here in 1 minute, but the main difference between the two, because if you can see both of these verbs, present perfect continuous and present perfect with for or since, they are talking about something that happened in the past and is true until now. The main difference, what I highlighted here as well, is non-action verbs and action verbs. So if it's a non-action verb, we are going to be using the present perfect. What does it mean, non-action verbs? Examples are given here for you. Not the final list, but just a couple. Like, have, know. Okay, these are non-action verbs. They don't require us to do something or a specific action. If it is an action verb, sorry, like learn, work, go, run, dig, eat, and so on, then we are going to be using present perfect continuous. Okay, so both of these tenses, they are very, very similar because they talk about the action that started in the past and is going until now. You need to have a look at what kind of verb we are using. If it's an action verb, something that requires a physical action to do or to complete, then we're going to be using present perfect continuous. If it does not, if it's a non-action verb, we are going to be using present perfect. Let's look at the examples in the box here, please. Lizzie, can you read the examples here in the blue box?
I have. You have.
So this is the example sentences. I have been working here for 2 years. You have.
You have been working here for 2 years. We have been working here for 2 years. They have been working here for 2 years.
So you can see for I, you, we, and they, we use have. For he, she, and it, we use has. Okay, so don't confuse that. He, she, it has been working here for 10 years. The ending is the same. The ending been plus the verb finishing with ing is exactly the same for every single person. The only difference is that for he, she, and it, we use has. For you, I, we, and they, we use have, not has. Okay, very good. Now, so these are how we form the positive sentences. Now, the negatives, Continue.
I have not been working hard for 2 years. You
Mhm.
haven't been working hard to her for 2 years.
Mhm.
He, she, it hasn't been working hard for 2 years. We haven't been working hard for 2 years. They haven't been working hard for 2 years.
Very good. So again, exactly the same. Look, for he, she, and it, we use has and then the same ending. Been working. Exactly the same for all of the tenses. Sorry, for all of the persons. I have not been working. You have not been working. We have not been working. And they have not been working. Have not, or you can say haven't. Haven't. Okay? The only difference here is he, she, and it. We use hasn't. Hasn't been working. The ending of the is the same. Been plus the verb with the ending ing for both positive, negatives, and the questions. Okay? And now the questions. How do we form the questions with the present perfect continuous, Lizzie?
Have you been working here for 2 years? Yes, I have. No, I haven't.
Mhm.
Has she been working here for 2 years? Yes, she has, or no, she hasn't.
Okay, very good. So these are how we form a questions with the present perfect continuous. Have you been working here for 2 years? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. And has she or has he been working here for 2 years? Yes, she or he has. No, she or he has not. So remember, the key thing here, both of these tenses we can use when we are talking about something that started in the past and is true until now. Again, something that started in the past and is true until now. The main difference is that present perfect we are going to be using for non-action verbs. The verbs that do not require action, like, have, know, okay? These are non-action verbs. The action verbs like go, run, work, eat, and so on, we are going to be using present perfect continuous. Okay, so let's try to put this into practice. I will send this to you. Give me 1 second. I will send this to you to our WhatsApp group so that we have this to see. How do we form? But remember, as we said, the key and the main difference between the two and the use of these two verbs, tenses, sorry, is action and non-action verbs. Now, let's go to your Moodle, please. And I would like you to go back a bit where it says grammar. Present perfect, for since, and present perfect continuous. Okay, so we have two activities here to do with for the grammar. We have activity 2A and activity grammar bank 1A. Choose the correct answer. Okay, so start with the grammar activity 2A, match the questions and answers. And then once you complete that, move to activity Grammar Bank 1A. Choose the correct answer here. Yeah, so go to Moodle, Unit 2B, scroll down to the second part where it says Grammar, Present Perfect, and then two activities, Activity 2A and Activity 1A. Okay, and in the meantime, I will send you the grammar page.
Teacher,
Yes.
2-8 and
Yes, 2A first, where it says quiz 2A, match the questions and answers under the grammar. Okay, so go to category number 2, which is grammar present perfect. And then the first exercise will be 2A, match the questions and answers. Once you complete that, you go scroll a bit down where it says again, in the same category of grammar, it says Grammar Bank 1A, choose the correct answer.
Mr. S, unit 2B.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, I just sent the grammar rules, so you have them on our WhatsApp group. These are the activities here we're doing. So you go to unit 2B, scroll down where it says grammar, present perfect, and these are the activities 2A and 1A. Okay, guys, let's try to complete the activities as fast as we can. The first activity is very quick, okay, because you only have a couple of questions, so it should not take you more than 5 minutes. That's why I said the time, 5 minutes. Okay, we still have quite a few students on the first activity. Okay, 3 more minutes for both activities, so please make sure you hurry up. Okay, let's move on. So I hope everyone or majority of you have finished. I did see that some activities on number 2. Some of you are still there, so please hurry up. Remember, we said that we have to be fair for everyone. Now, couple of classes ago, we spoke about the intonation and word stress and the importance of it when we are talking, especially in English language. So before we do our next activity, I just want to very, very quickly go through what we covered already, just to re-emphasize the message on the importance of using appropriate tone and putting a stress on a specific word or words that we are saying. Okay, so again, we went through this already. I just want, before the next activity we have about the word stress, I want to highlight a couple of techniques that we're using. So this technique is called focus word. Again, where we are highlighting with our tone, putting a stress on a specific word. We're taking a vacation this summer. Okay, so in this case, vacation is the key or the focus word here that we want to highlight. That's why our tone is higher. That's why we are highlighting this word, or we're stressing this word. Okay, next technique, the generic question. Generic questions normally at the end. So again, in this case, it happens to be the word summer, but it's at the end of the question, our voice goes up. Okay, so in this case, we're not taking a vacation this summer. We're not taking a vacation this summer. Again, the highlight or the focus word here is right back at the end before the question mark. W questions. When does the summer vacation start? So again, in this case, we have two highlights. We have the W at the beginning of the question. So this could be for when, where, who, whose, what, why, and how. And then we focus on the highlighted word as well, or on the focus word. So here we have two highlights in the sentence. So we're stressing out two parts of the sentence. When does your summer vacation start? When does your summer vacation start? Okay, so listen to my voice. How it changes, how the voice and the intonation goes up to the word that we're trying to stress out or highlight. How many? How many? This is kind of for the generic questions, when the voice goes up at the end. When you have multiple choices, again, remember the rule that the first option would go up and then the second option would go down. If you have 3 options, so the first 2 will go up, up, and down. Are you going to stay in a hotel or camping? In a hotel or camping? Okay, if we had more alternatives, in a hotel, hostel, or camping. The first 2 options will go up, up, and then down. As an example here, we want to go hiking, rock climbing. Again, feel how the voice is going up, up with the first 2 options and goes down, and whale watching. Okay, so the same thing here. Remember when we said, would you like to, can you buy a potatoes, carrots, and tomatoes? Potatoes, carrots, and tomatoes. The first 2 options, the voice goes up, up, and the third option goes down. So just as I said, we already spoke about this a couple of classes ago, but I just want to highlight these techniques of when do we put a stress in the sentence, when we want to highlight a specific information. So there are loads of different techniques. Sorry, 1 second. There are loads of different techniques of how do we highlight a specific word, but the idea is the same. Whatever information, the key information we have in a sentence, we are going to be highlighting or stressing out those words. Okay, so let's listen to this recording. We're going to do the activity 3, pronunciation and sentence stress. But before you do that, I want you to listen to this recording. Okay?
1.50. 1.
It's snowing.
So what's the key information here that we're trying to say?
Snowing.
Snowing, absolutely. We're trying to say that it is snowing. That's why we're highlighting or stressing out that word. Next.
How long has it been snowing?
What are we trying to... Where do you feel that you put a stress on a certain word more than others? What are we trying to find out here? What's the key message from this sentence?
The time that it has been snowing.
Yes, very good. Very good. Remember when we... Remember this rule here? So this is how we use it. Remember, in this case, it's the focus is on two focus words, but for W questions, when, where, who, whose, what, why, and how, okay, we highlight how, and then we highlight the stress word. So in this case, in the specific question, the sentence that we heard, we wanted to highlight how long, so the time, snowing. Okay, so these three things, how long, and then snowing. Let's listen to the next one.
2. I'm learning Russian. How long have you been learning Russian?
Yeah, Alex? Where's the stress?
The first.
How long have you been learning Russian? How long have you been learning Russian? How?
Long, every, how
Yeah.
long?
Yes. And?
Everybody?
Russian, not everybody.
Russian.
Yeah. Okay.
3. Susan has been working in Italy. How long has Susan been working in Italy?
David.
Sorry, teacher. My internet was slow. Couldn't listen.
Okay, let's do that because the connection might not be very good. Go to Moodle, exercise 3, pronunciation, sentence stress, and you're going to hear the recording here. So listen and write down the stress word. So listen to the recording and see where does the person or the speaker put a stress on a word or a group of words. So what is the main message? Listen to the tone, the voice of tone. Remember, the intonation is super important. So when you hear that the voice goes a bit up, that will be the word that is stressed. Okay? So you're going to see the recording there. Listen to the recording and highlight where was the stressed word. Activity 3A. Listen once and try to write down the stressed words. Okay?
Yes.
Try to listen only once if possible. If you need to, you can listen one more time, but try to do it from the first time. Listen, where does the stress go? And then think. In each sentence, as we said, there are certain things we try to highlight, certain things we try to emphasize. Those will be your stress words. Okay? So activity 3A, pronunciation. Listen and try to write down the stress words. Okay? You can start now. Guys, only 22 of you logged in. It should be 38. Okay, so please log into the activity, the same unit, unit 2B, activity 3A. Listen once and try to write down the stressed words. Okay. How are we doing? We finished or not yet? Okay, guys, a big number of still are working on it. A couple of minutes, okay? In theory, you should only listen to the recording once. So once you hear the recording once, you should pick up, try to pick up, like as we said, two things to take into account. What is the message we're trying to say, okay? And what are the stressed words? What is the key information that we're trying to say? Once you know that, then you will pick up those key words. Learning Russian, how long? Okay? Or learning to skate for how long? And so on. Okay, 1 more minute, guys. Okay, guys, so majority of you finished. Let's have a quick break. Okay, 15 or so minutes. So let's gather at 11:10. Okay, 11:10, we regather again. Have a quick break. For those of you who didn't finish, then you're going to be using your time of your break. Okay, so 11:10, we regather. We can move on. So it's very good to add these adjectives into your vocabulary when you're using them. Okay, so again, the stronger adjectives are not to be used every single time, but when you see that you are trying to re-emphasize something or make something stronger. Okay, so just let's have a look at some of the examples. So angry, what would be the stronger adjective for the adjective angry? Anyone?
Starving.
Furious. Okay, angry would be furious. So angry is a normal adjective. Furious would be the stronger adjective. How about tiny? So tiny is again a stronger adjective. What would be a normal adjective as such?
Small.
Small. Absolutely, very good. So again, depending on what are you trying to say, I can say my room is very small. If I want to highlight that my room is super small, I can say my room is tiny. Okay, so again, small and tiny. Next, terrified.
Afraid.
Terrified is afraid. Absolutely. So again, depending on what you're trying to say, I was afraid, but if I'm super afraid, I can say I am terrified. I'm terrified of snakes or of spiders. Okay. How about delicious?
Nice.
Yes. You can say nice. You can say also tasty, or you can say delicious. Delicious means that it was super tasty, very flavorful. So again, something you can include in your dictionary. Starving.
Hungry.
Hungry. Very good.
Hungry.
Very good. Absolutely. So again, if I am just hungry, if I want to eat, because normally at 11:30 I do eat, I say, oh, I'm very hungry. If I'm super hungry, I can say I'm starving. Starving meaning that I did not have a food for a long time and I am super hungry and I could eat anything right now. Okay, the same with the opposite of tiny and small. How about enormous?
Big.
Big. Yes. So the generic adjective would be big. This is a very big portion of food or of rice. Or you can say, if you want to say, highlight that it is a massive portion, you can say this is enormous portion, like super big. Very good. Then we already spoke about freezing and cold. So again, if you want to just normally highlight that something is cold, you say it is cold. It is very cold outside in the beach right now because of the wind. If you want to say again that something is super cold, you would use the word freezing. It's freezing out there. Okay? Freezing does not mean that it is frozen. Okay, so don't confuse the two. Freezing means super cold. Frozen means that it is now ice. Okay, this water is frozen. So I have no water, I have ice. Then how about, this is less commonly known, filthy. Filthy.
Dirty.
Dirty.
Dirty. Very good. Yes, so absolutely. So if something is just dirty, you use the word dirty, adjective dirty. If something is super unorganized, super dirty, you can use the word filthy. Okay? Filthy is very strong word, so be careful with that. Don't use it too often. Okay? But again, if you want to highlight that the place was very dirty, you can use the word filthy. Oh, this place is so filthy. You can see the garbage everywhere on the floor. Then delighted.
Happy.
Happy.
Happy, very good. So again, you can use this stronger adjective. I was so delighted to see him again. I have not seen him for 10 years. Okay, so meaning I was super, super happy. I was super emotional to see that person. Hilarious.
Funny.
Funny.
Hilarious is funny. Again, if something is extremely funny or makes you laugh, you can use the word hilarious. Positive.
Sure.
Positive, sure. And then amazed.
Surprise.
Surprised, very good. So again, my advice would be write these adjectives and strong adjectives down, write them down somewhere and try to memorize them. Okay, and then when you are describing something, because remember, now we are at the level B1. We are going higher and higher. So B2, C1, and so on. So the higher you go, the more accurate words you will be using. So if you want to say specifically that this place is super, super dirty, you're not going to say just dirty. You're going to use the adjective, a stronger adjective, saying filthy. If you want to highlight that how you feel that I am very, very hungry now, you're not just going to say I'm hungry. You're going to say I'm starving. If you're going to say that, if you want to highlight it, oh, this AC is so cold, you're going to say not that it is very cold. You're going to say it's freezing in here. Okay, so these adjectives are very good. They make your language more rich, and they show the higher level of English. So when you're talking to someone, and if you're using these adjectives, of course, there is not a final list. There is a lot more, but you are basically saying that my English level is higher, my vocabulary is much more rich, and I can explain myself much, much better. Okay, not just say this is bad, this is good, this is sad, and so on. Try to use and incorporate on your day-to-day talks different vocabulary, more advanced vocabulary. Okay, now we're gonna go into the groups of 2. Quick activity. I would like you to answer these questions we just had a look earlier. So if you go to your Moodle, the same questions I just showed you. Scroll down to the exercise 6A, and you will see the questions here. Have you ever been swimming in the place where the water was absolutely freezing? Is there anything that makes you furious about car drivers and cyclists in your country? And so on. Okay, so ask your partner these questions, and then your partner then answers, and then you change. So then you ask the question to your partner, and then your partner answers, and then we move to questions 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so very quick speaking activity. In the groups, remember, only in Spanish, and answer the question that your partner is actually asking. So look at the specific question and answer that question. Okay, this time we're going to have smaller groups, so groups of 2 students. Okay, some groups will still be 3, so then I think 1 or 2 groups are only 3 students. So just make sure that everyone has a chance to answer and to ask the same questions. Okay, you can join your breakout room now.
For example, I have you ever been swimming in a place where the water was absolutely freezing.
Yeah, you ask the question and then Walter and Melissa, you reply, and then you move on to the next question. So Walter, have you ever been swimming in the freezing cold water?
No,
No?
no.
Okay. Luis, you?
No, mister. Absolutely not. No. And this is swimming in freezing. Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No, mister.
No? Okay. I have been because in Salinas, when it's not a temporada, the water is freezing cold. Okay, so remember, freezing doesn't mean that it must be frozen water. Freezing can mean that it was very, very cold. So even like if it's for you was very cold, or I don't know, maybe you went to Cuenca and you went to the lake and you just put your feet, that's freezing cold. The water is not frozen, so it's not ice, but it is freezing cold.
One sample for the city is Chimborazo.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so continue asking each other questions.
Yeah.
Teacher, I have a question. I
Yeah.
asked for my partner the 5 question or
Yes,
one round?
you ask each other. So you ask the first question, then your partner answers, and then you answer the same question. And then you move on to the question 2. So Maholi can ask you the second question, you answer, and then she answers. So both of you share the same questions.
Okay, teacher, thank you. Well, Molly, question number 1. Have you ever been swimming in a place where the water was absolutely freezing?
Repeat.
Question number 1. Have you ever swimming in a place where the water was absolutely freezing?
No, no.
Have you, Giancarlo?
No, I haven't. I don't like to swimming in general.
Okay, listen, remember, don't confuse. Freezing doesn't mean that it is frozen. Okay, so it's not ice. So for example, in the beach in Salinas or somewhere else, if you go when it's not a temporada, the water is freezing. It is very, very cold. It's not frozen. There's not ice in the water, but it's very, very cold. So you can say that. If you went to Cuenca, okay, and you were maybe just put your feet in the lake, the water is freezing there. It's very, very cold. Okay, so freezing, don't confuse. Freezing does not mean frozen. Frozen is when you have ice instead of the water. Freezing means that it is very cold. Okay, continue with the next questions.
Okay, please. Hi, Mister.
Hello.
Hello. I was I was to answer the number 5 sentence that Jaime told me that is there a comedian or comedy series on TV in your country that you think it's absolutely hilarious? Well, yeah. Well, not exactly right now nowadays, but in like 4 years ago, we had a TV show that calls En Vivos or Vivos. But they was really, really hilarious. They made fun and parody of politics, daily events, and etc. I remember that the whole Ecuador watched that TV show
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Continue.
Yes. And Jaime.
Why so quiet here?
Mister, we have to do the activity that is on the 6A.
No,
Five
just ask the questions of each other because we did the activity in 6A. Okay, so just ask the questions where it says D. Have you ever
Yeah.
been swimming in a place? Yeah. So just
Mhm,
ask each
okay.
of those questions and answer.
Okay. Tell me, have you ever been swimming in a place where the water it was absolutely freezing?
No, I usually swimming in a place where the water is hot and normal, degrees normal.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Remember, just one second. Freezing does not mean that it is frozen. Freezing means that it is very cold. So, for example, if you go to the beach, when it's not a temporada, the water is freezing cold. It's not frozen, but it's very, very cold. Yeah. So the same like if you go to Cuenca or if you go somewhere else, and if you go to the river, you put your feet inside or wash your hands, the water there is freezing cold. It's not frozen, it's freezing cold, like very, very cold. Okay.
okay. I ask, is there anything that makes you furious about car drivers or cyclists in your country?
Probably, yeah. Because I think that car drivers here in Ecuador sometimes are like very crazy. They don't think that they need to be very careful while are driving. So yeah, I think that is maybe something that make me furious about them.
Commonly in Guayaquil.
Are there any animals or insects that you're terrified of?
Um, then I think
Yeah, the question number 3. Are there any animals or insects that you are terrified of? In my case, crickets scare me. And you?
My case is I live in Amazon. In Amazon, there is an insect.
Both microphones are off. No, not possible.
No, it's just that we were practicing, but we just
In silence.
stopped. Yeah. Okay. We are going to what we did.
Okay.
5 minutes. Are there any animals or insects that you're terrified of?
Yes, there are. I'm terrified of cockroach. And you?
I'm terrified of crickets.
Okay, another question. What's the most delicious meal you have recently?
The most delicious meal I've had recently was lasagna soup. And you?
I haven't heard about lasagna soup.
I haven't heard of lasagna soup. What's that?
Yeah, it's like a lasagna, but with more liquid.
Really? Wow. That's something. Who invented this?
I don't know. I saw it on the recipe on internet.
I'll have a look. Sounds interesting.
I was surprised when I heard.
Okay, continue.
Oh, is there anything that makes you furious about car drivers or cyclists in your country?
Yes.
Okay, guys, you finished?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so what's the most delicious meal you've had recently?
My recently is bolón here in Ecuador,
Yeah.
Guayaquil.
And me, recently is sushi.
Sushi, very good, very good. What kind of sushi is that?
Bolón es ¿cómo es? De plátano, fries the kitchen, o sea, the free de plátano, and the pig.
Okay, very good. Next question. Are there any animals or insects that you are terrified of?
And me, and yes, spider make me sick.
Spiders.
Yes.
Okay. How about you?
And the terrible insect is the snake.
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 Oh, same here. I'm scared of snakes. Terrified.
Snake, coral
Coral
in my country. Well,
oh,
it's very dangerous.
It's venomous. Venomous is when it bites you and puts the venom, like very poison. Is it?
It's infected. It's dangerous.
Okay. Okay, good. Continue, guys, and we're gonna go back to the main room in a second.
Thank you, mister.
Okay, guys, a lot of very exciting ideas. I can see that most of you, just like myself, are scared of snakes, spiders, and cockroaches. Okay, so very good. You heard some interesting ideas. So now just to finish, try to use these adjectives or these stronger adjectives when you are talking. Okay, so in your spoken English, try to incorporate them because they make your language more rich. Okay, now moving on to the next activity. Activity number 7, go to your Moodle and we're gonna do some writing practices. Okay, so we're gonna write an informal email to somebody you have been staying with and tell them what you have been doing recently. Okay, so just remember, just like we had at the beginning of the class when you were sharing what kind of things have you done this week, this is one of those emails. So scroll down, same unit 2B, scroll down right at the end, you're gonna see the number 7, writing. Write an informal email to thank somebody you have been staying and to tell them that what have you been doing recently. So again, informal email, just think like that you're writing to your friend. Okay, so don't write dear sir, madam, and other words. It's like an informal email you're writing to your friend. So use the language you would be using when you are talking to your friend. So not formal, informal. So write down the email. Hi, John. I hope you're well. Just wanted to let you know that I have been recently moving houses. I moved to another place because the one where I lived before was not very safe or was not very convenient for me to get to the university. And then explain a bit more. What have you been doing? And then regards, thanks, see you around, Valeska or whoever. Okay, so write on that activity. We have 15 minutes for the activity, so it doesn't have to be the longest email, but you have to have at least 100 words there. Okay, I'm gonna make it 15 minutes, so I'm gonna change the setting slightly. But start doing it right now. So at 12:18, we finish this activity. Okay, 12:18, we have 15 minutes to complete the activity. Okay, start. Informal email to your friend telling about what have you been doing recently. Minimum 100 words. Okay, so when you do the word count, it's going to write there in the platform. Make sure it's minimum 100 words, not less than that, because your grade will be lower. Okay, good luck.
Teacher, any topic?
No, not any topic. Informal email to your friend about what have you been doing recently.
Okay, teacher, thanks.
Welcome.
See.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know drive and I feel more safer. So
Very good. Of course. Of course. Sometimes taking a taxi is a lot easier because if you go with your car, you need to think, where are you going to park your car? And let's say in the city center, there is no parking. Okay, so it's better to maybe take a taxi or a bus and drive there. Yes, Christian.
My favorite transportation in the Azogue City is my motorcycle. So this a lot of time in the traffic. It is easy to park
Yes.
in the city.
Absolutely. Well done. Abigail?
I don't live in Guayaquil, but when I visit Guayaquil, I prefer use the car because the transport public is very complicated. The insecurity is dangerous.
High. Insecurity is very high. Yes.
Yeah.
People in Guayaquil drive very differently. When I moved to Ecuador, first 6 months, I could not drive in Guayaquil. I was scared of the people because everyone is jumping from one lane to another. So I was scared to drive. I could not drive for 6 months. Later on, I got used to it. But yes, driving can be very stressful. The motorbike driving as well could be very stressful. So it's better to maybe take a bus or a taxi. Does anyone else use any other mean of transport? So we spoke about buses or metrovías, we spoke about cars, we spoke about taxi, and we spoke about a motorbike. Is there any other way to get around Guayaquil?
my favorite transport in the Riobamba is the train.
The train, here you go, another transport,
You
yes.
can observe the golden las your country. Example, the router that's already allow for the train Riobamba Lausi and vice versa.
Okay, very good, very good. So here we have a lot of means of transport. Yes, so we have the train, we have the bicycle. Okay, so a bicycle is not like a bike. Bike is electric bike, or with a motor. Bicycle is just where you have to pedal yourself. Okay, so you can use that very easily. You can use maybe scooters that are becoming more popular here in Guayaquil, or you can just walk. Or if you live in Duran and you want to get to Guayaquil, maybe you can use Aerovia, which is also a mean of transport to get from one place to another. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways how you can travel within Ecuador or within Guayaquil. Very good. Now, let's have a look at some vocabulary that might be useful when we are talking about our new topic, which will be about transport. Okay, so let's have a look at your screens, and let's look at these pictures. Okay, so we have the pictures 1, 2, 3, all the way to picture 9, and then we have the words to match. So who did not? Fernanda, can you read the words?
Yes.
Please?
Okay. Public transport and vehicles. Match the words in picture. Carriage, coach, lorry, motorway, platform. It's considered the underground, tram, and van.
And van. Okay, so here we go. We have some words about the transport, and you can see a couple of words that have slightly different word depending on if we are using British English or American English. So for example, a word lorry, okay, that's a British English word. In the American English, you would use a word truck, okay? So that's one difference. Another one is the underground, In American English, it would be called subway. Not a sandwich, but a underground train. Okay, so let's look at this. Carriage. What do you think it means, and which picture would represent that? Carriage. Anyone? What is a carriage?
Isn't it the road where
The
cars
road
go?
that's like pushed by horses.
Look at the pictures here from 1 to 9. It's one of these pictures. Okay, that's fine. If we don't know, let's do the following. Always like that. If you don't know one specific word, do the rest. And then once you finish the rest, then the only one that's missing will be the correct one. So let's look at the next one. The word coach. Coach. What's that? Coach. And again, the couple of meanings to this word. We are talking in the context of transport. So the coach could be the person like your football coach, correct? The person who is teaching you something. In the context of transport or the vehicles, it has a different meaning. So a coach is, what do you think? What is a coach? Which number?
2.
Pictures.
2.
2, yes. A coach is, in other words, it's a bus. Okay? So you can use a coach. A coach is normally, in British English, a coach is a bus that takes you from one place to another, but it's normally from one city to another city. So if you have within the city, you would have buses, Okay, so the bus can take you from south to north. A coach would be like take you from Guayaquil to Salinas, or from Guayaquil to Babahoyo, or from Guayaquil to Quito. Okay, so those who are traveling from one city or from one town, those would be called coaches. Okay. Okay, next one, lorry, or in American English, truck. Lorry. Which number is that?
7.
Seven.
7.
Number 7. Very good. Yes. So the lorry or a truck in American English is a big vehicle that transports some goods from one place to another. So in this case, I think it's called, here you go, it's a DHL. So it transports your packages, your letters, but it can transport food, it can transport some other goods. Okay, so this is again, you have different meanings. In American English, it would be called truck. In British English, it would be called lorry. Next, the motorway. The motorway.
8. 3.
Number 3. Yes. So a motorway is the road that normally has 2 or 4 lanes going each direction, and it is separated by the line in the middle. So again, here you have on the motorway, you have a higher speed limit. You can drive a bit faster because there is a separation in the middle. So you would have a motorway in some places, let's say from Guayaquil to Salinas, where you have 2 or 3 lanes going each direction, and you have a separation in the middle. This is called motorway. Okay. Now, next, platform. Platform, which, well, it's already given number 1. So the platform is again in the train station or in the underground station is where you wait for your train to arrive. Okay, so that area, that waiting area where you wait for your train to arrive is called a platform. So you have different platforms. Let's say train to Quito leaves from platform number 1. Train to Cuenca leaves from platform number 2. You have different platforms where the train arrives, you board the train, and then you go. Next, scooter. Scooter. Again, this is in American English, it would be pronounced with a stronger R. As you can see, in British English, we don't pronounce R. We don't say scooter. Scooter. You don't say that in British English. You say scooter without R. Which number is that?
8.
Number 8. Well done. Well done. Next, the underground. The underground, or in American English, subway. Which number is that?
1.
Number 1 is a platform.
Platform.
4.
Number 4. Yes.
Number 4.
Yes. So the underground, do we have underground in Ecuador?
Yes, in Quito.
Quito.
In Quito, yes, well done. Yes, so the underground is where you have to go to catch a train, but the trains are always underground. Okay, so again, in American English, you would have a different name. It would be called a subway. Subway. In British English, it's underground. Underground. 2 words, under the ground. Okay, very good. That's number 4. Next, tram. Tram.
9.
Number 9. Do we have trams in Ecuador?
Yes, in Cuenca.
In Cuenca, very good, absolutely. So those are trams. Those are trains that travel only within the city. They don't leave from one city to another. They are only within the city, and they are on top of the ground. So if you think that the underground or a subway is the same train, but underneath the ground, tram is on top of the ground. Okay, and tram, the difference between tram and train is that the train goes from one city to another. So there is a train from Machala to Guayaquil. Imagine, okay, so just giving the example. Tram would be only within the city. Next, van. Van.
Five.
Five.
Number 5, yes. So van is a smaller version of a lorry or of a truck. Okay, it also can carry goods, as you can see here, but it is much smaller than a truck. Okay, so now we did all of those, so now we have only one remaining, the number 1. Carriage. Carriage, which number is that?
6.
Number 6. So what is a carriage then? What do you think? What is a carriage then? This is the picture of number 6. Carriage. What is it? Anyone?
It's like a old train.
It's more like a part of the train. You know, when you have a very long train, the train is divided into parts. Okay, so those parts are called carriages. Okay, so they are combined, so the train can be longer or the train can be shorter, but it's not just one train. So you have a carriage, carriage 1, carriage 2, carriage 3, and so on. Okay, where you have the separation between. You don't have just a very long train with no separations. The train is normally formed out of the small carriages. Okay, so you have carriage 1, carriage 2. They are interconnected and they go, but you can separate them as well. So that's what the trains do. The train can be shorter or a train can be very long. So those trains who carry, let's say, coal or any other goods, they can be super long, like 100, 200, 300, 400 meters long. Okay, those are formed out of different carriages. In this case, the train is quite short, so it's only formed out of 3 carriages and so on. Okay, so these are the words that again we will find very useful in this unit, and this is to remember. Now, do we know what a compound noun is? Do you know what a compound noun is? No? Okay. Now, Antonella, can you read please here the green box where it says compound nouns?
Compound nouns are 2 nouns together where the first noun describes the second. For example, a child seat equals a seat for a child, a bus stop, a place for buses to stop, etc. In compound nouns, the first noun is stressed more strongly than the second. There are many compound nouns related to road travel.
Very good. So compound noun, compound meaning an addition or something more. So from the name we can say that it is 2. In some cases could be even 3, but most of the times it's 2 nouns together. So if you put child is a noun, correct? Seat is also a noun. You combine them 2 together, child, seat. You have a compound noun. Okay? Meaning you have a completely different meaning of the word. You're not talking just about the child. You're not talking about just a seat. You're talking about child, seat. Completely different thing. The same with the bus. Bus is a noun. Stop, where something stops, is also a noun. Combine the 2 together, we have a compound noun. A bus stop, and so on. So here we have a couple of examples of a compound noun. So for example, car crash. Okay, crash is a noun, could be a verb as well, but in this case we're using it as a noun to show that it's like an accident. Okay, not the action but the accident, and the car is obviously a car. So a car crash is a compound noun. Now I would like you to do and match them together, and we're going to do that as an activity. So we have a belt, camera, crossing, fine. Do you know what fine means? When you do something wrong, you get a ticket, okay, to pay. Let's say you were speeding and you get a fine for that, a punishment, okay, normally a monetary punishment. Hour, jam, lane, lights, limit, rank, station, works, and zone. So we need to match them with the words 1 to 14. So let's try to do it together very quick. The first one has been done for us. Car crash. Number 2, cycle. What do you think? Which word would we use to form a compound noun? Cycle, what?
Sun.
Sun. Sun.
A lot of different answers. Who said?
Cycle line.
Cycle lane. Very good. Cycle lane is that area on the road where the cyclists go. Cycle lane, it's called. Next, parking.
Fine.
Parking fine. Very good. When you park in the wrong place, you get a parking fine. Very good. Pedestrian.
Zone.
Pedestrian zone. Okay. Any more?
Station.
Crossing.
Pedestrian crossing. Very good. Pedestrian crossing is where the people can cross the road. Okay, so that could be more accurate. In some cases, you will see that some of these we can add together, but we need to, again, look at what is the best word so that all of the other words match together. So in this case, pedestrian crossing is the most accurate word here. Petrol.
Station.
Petrol station. Again, petrol station is where we get the petrol. Road.
Works.
Road works. Road works is when people are doing some fixing on the road. Rush.
Hour.
Rush hour. Very good. Well done. Antonella, you're answering all of them. Well done. Rush hour is, what is a rush hour? Does anyone know? Rush hour is the hour after normally the working hour. So when everyone finishes work and everyone goes to their home or somewhere, or in the morning, they go to the offices, schools, and universities. So this is called rush hour, when we have a lot of traffic, a lot of people are going to their work, and that's why we have a traffic jams as well. Okay, seat.
Belt.
Belt, very good. Speed.
Camera.
Very good. Another speed.
Limit.
Limit. Again, so speed camera is a device that takes a picture if you're driving too fast. Speed limit is what are you allowed to drive on that specific road. Okay, so you're not allowed to drive faster than 50. This is the speed limit. Taxi.
Rank.
Jump.
Very good. Traffic.
Light.
Traffic lights. Traffic.
Jam.
Traffic jam. Okay, so again, the same word, traffic light and traffic jam. Traffic jam we have during the rush hour when everyone is going to their schools or somewhere. And zebra.
Crossing.
Zebra crossing. Did we not say that pedestrian crossing is there?
Zebra lane.
Zone.
Exactly. So as I said, a lot of times you can use both. You can use pedestrian crossing or you can use pedestrian zone. So in this case, it will be pedestrian zone because zebra crossing is number 14.
Okay.
So now I would like you to go to your Moodle, go to Unit 3A and complete activities, vocabulary activities, 1A and 2A. So one more time, go to the Unit 3A, Race Across London student book, and then under the vocabulary, complete the activities 1A and 2A.
Teacher,
Yes?
in the 1A, and they had intended and already done it many. He come on the plane there. Check please.
You already entered there.
The in the activity one date.
Yeah.
Intended had already. No intro in the activity.
Okay,
Check, please.
I did check. You have 0. I'm giving you a second chance, okay? So second attempt, complete that, please.
Mr. is in 2B or 2A?
Both 1A and 2B. 2A, sorry.
2A.
Oh, no. It's, unit 3A.
Okay.
And
3A.
the activities 1A and 2A.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, Christian, I just made you another attempt. So log in and complete the activity.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Okay, I can see majority of you finished 1A. Let me double check.
Teacher,
Yes.
in one part of the activity, I get that it is the other way around. For example, it is pedestrian zone and zebra crossing.
Send me a picture to WhatsApp.
Okay.
Whatever you feel that you are not graded accurately, send me the picture on WhatsApp, and then I can have a look. If that's the case, I will amend. I always amend your grades. Okay. But if you think that it's actually a mistake, because the system sometimes recognizes one answer and does not recognize the other one, so there might be some mistakes like that. So if you feel it, send it to my WhatsApp, and I can review and look at it. Okay, very good. Now, to finish off, I would like you to, let me see, did everyone finish 2A? Okay, we'll wait a couple of minutes until the rest finish 2A. I'll amend that. Those who send me WhatsApps, I will amend your answers. Okay, did everyone finish 2A? Giancarlo, Jose, Fernanda, Javier, Leslie, Kate, Melissa, please hurry up. Activity 2A, not finished yet. Okay, those who finish. Now, for the last activity, it's unfortunately we don't have time to finish it here, so I will have to give you as a after the class activity. Okay, it's very short. It's one reading, but we need to hurry up and we need to finish it. So if you go to the unit 3A, okay, unit 3A, Race Across London student book. If you scroll down to the activity reading and listening, I want you to complete this reading activity 3B. Okay, so after the class, it's open, you can see, until 11:59 today. So you have to finish today for tomorrow. Okay, so make sure we don't have to, again, we don't have unfortunately time now, but after this class you choose. You can do it straight after the class, or you can do it later on, but you have until today 11:59 p.m. to finish this activity. All you have to do is read the article and answer the questions with the specific name who is in charge of that activity. Jeremy for GE, Richard R, or James for JA. Okay, so this is the article. You're going to read it here, activity 3B. Please make sure you finish that activity today. Okay, and that will be it for today. So make sure you finish this activity one more time. You log into your Moodle, unit 3A, you scroll down where it says reading and listening. And then you complete the quiz 3B. Read the 3 journeys again and answer the questions. Jeremy, Richard, or James. Okay, you have until 11:59 tonight to finish this activity, because then it will be closed. Okay, do you have questions about this? Anyone? No?
No.
Okay, good. Have a good afternoon and have a good evening, everyone. And I will see you tomorrow at 9. Okay?
Thanks, Mr.
Tomorrow. See you.
Bye, teacher.